Hello, I'm X Toy Cat, and welcome back to the Minecraft update news video. So today is Wednesday, which is Snapshot Day, my dudes. This is the day where we usually learn new things about Minecraft and what's going to be in the next big update, in this case the Nether update. However, today's snapshot just included a couple of very minor changes, and mostly besides that, just bug fixes, because they're focusing on getting the existing features out to launch as soon as they can. The couple of changes, in case you are curious, is they made it so that target blocks can conduct redstone now, so redstone signals can go through them, and also they made a parity change to make redstone look like crosses, something which has existed on Bedrock for quite some time now. So that is why today's video is here on Bedrock, because I wanted to use this opportunity instead to talk about some features which have existed in the Bedrock betas for a while now, indeed some secret features because they're not mentioned on any changelogs, but they include a change to the way Minecraft generates, between seeds, and then also on top of that we've also got a brand new block, the border block. And the border block is surprisingly handy if you are making custom worlds. I'm going to be talking about exactly how and why in today's video, which I hope you all do enjoy. Let's dive straight into it though, and let's start by talking about the world gen changes. Because here is a seed that I'm pretty familiar with. I used to use it for speedrunning, and as a result, I know this seed quite well, and here is the exact same seed but being loaded up in the version prior to this beta, 1.14 on the Bedrock in case you're curious. It's the Buzzy Bees update. As you can see, it is very much the same seed and the same world with very few exceptions in tree placements and grass placements and stuff. But the interesting thing about this update is the fact that if you go pretty much anywhere where there is going to be some stone found, let's say looking at that mountain up there, it will have changed entirely. Before the Nether update, as you can see, there's a bunch of andesite here, and then otherwise it's just a bunch of stone until you find some gravel over there. Whereas if we look on the 1.16 Nether update version, you can see how there's no andesite here, there's some random granite here, and there's no gravel over there. Or actually, there is some gravel, but it's now found higher up in the ceiling instead. In fact, in a way that it will immediately fall down if we break one of the blocks. But yeah, you can see there are some differences in any stone-based cave generation. Here you can see how even ores have changed place. There's some iron, there's some coal, then there's some coal over there on the 1.16 Nether update, whereas if you look on the 1.14 version, there's neither of those two things here, but there is some iron over there instead. All of the ores, all of the blocks underground have changed in this update. Literally anything below the surface has changed entirely, and it's a pretty huge deal that still, right now, has not been addressed. It has been confirmed as a feature, or it's been confirmed as a change that's been made, whether accidentally or not, but it hasn't been confirmed as to whether they wanted to make this change, or whether it accidentally happened while playing around with the world generator, and that is huge and shocking because it means you're going to have some jarring changes in your underground between generations potentially, and also it means that if you try to load up the same seed between versions, it will be slightly different. In addition to that, this update changes some things in some ways you wouldn't expect, and I mean the obvious ones are the bugs to point out, like, hey, look at these logs over there compared to the logs over here on the left. They're obviously facing the wrong way, but also, let's go to the Nether. This is something, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to expect that, like, hey, did you know if you go to the Nether in the Nether update, the Nether will be different? And yeah, sure, of course that makes sense, but if we actually do precisely that, going through the same portal at the exact same coordinates, as indeed we're about to do right here, then you'll see how, yeah, the Nether, it's entirely changed, because in the Nether update, there are new biomes. Before the Nether update, it's just boring old Nether. So you can see how we're pretty much at the same coordinates here, right? We're at roughly actually, let's go to precisely the same coordinates, just to be fair here. Okay, so we're at the same coordinates minus a few blocks, and it's cool to see the change in the Nether generation between updates, in my opinion at least. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because the one feature they haven't touched in this update is the Nether fortresses, right? Except not necessarily, actually. It seems as though Nether fortress placement has moved around a bit. So if we actually locate ourselves a fortress, you'll see how the nearest one before this update was at those coordinates, whereas luckily enough, in this particular version, you can see how the nearest fortress we can find is found right over there at those coordinates, which are, of course, significantly closer. This is my speedrunning seed, that's why I use it as an example. This update fortunately changed the the Nether fortress to be super close by. Look how close a distance that was, versus if we want to find it over here in the prior to the the Nether update version days, we have to go significantly further. So I still think the same rough formula for generating Nether fortresses and the distance between them is in play, but either there are additional Nether fortresses in between those ones, or certain Nether fortresses are going to break and more ones are going to move around between betas, versions, etc., which is something you wouldn't expect given this is the one feature they haven't touched, and you can see some really weird examples of that in the game generation. I mean, for instance, here is a Nether fortress which is crawling with Endermen because it's in a warped forest. You can even see the vines and stuff go directly through and above the fortress. This Nether fortress is in a soul sand valley, so of course it's got a bunch of soul soil which it digs straight into. There's giant basalt pillars going floor to ceiling through it in multiple places, by the way, and obviously you can find gas and sometimes even the Nether fossils chilling around this structure. This Nether fortress in a crimson forest has piglins bouncing in and out of it as well to add another threat to you if you're just trying to get some blaze rods. And you can also get Nether fortresses where you wouldn't even assume anything is up until you walk further inside of them, and it turns out you're underneath a basalt deltas biome, which means the blocks around it will change slightly, and also you get these particle effects everywhere, which is super strange, but again, it's just a natural thing that can happen now. Nether fortresses have changed in significant ways that are visible, but also they've changed in some invisible ways in the generation. Sadly, this is, again, the design isn't going to be changed, that's something they've confirmed, but it is interesting to see that Nether fortresses have changed up their positions, as well as everything else. Really, Minecraft 1.16 is changing a lot of things about Minecraft pretty permanently. It's just you won't spot most of them because they're below the surface, if you forgive, the joke about the fact that it's dealing with cave stuff and also dealing with Nether fortresses that go below the ground. But anyway, with that said, let's just talk about the last big thing here, because you're probably super curious about this border block, right? How do you get the border block? So in the same way you can get the jigsaw block, which I mentioned, like, oh yeah, you can give yourself a jigsaw block, which doesn't actually do too much. It's a block that's used for technical reasons that you're not going to be able to want to do too much with, and maybe you do actually. You can dive into that if you want to. But in reality, the jigsaw block is something that's super technical and will affect 0.1 of 1% of you watching this video. However, the border block is much more interesting because if you're making any form of map for others to play and you want to define the clear boundaries of that, you just want to give them the border block. It's weird that it's called the border block when it's really a border wall, but again, maybe they want to avoid calling it that. But the border block is obviously a wall block in Minecraft that's kind of modeled after like a sandstone-y brick almost, but it's red. It's a weird thing, and the way this works is it's a block which cannot be gone over or under. And you might say, Toycat, well, you have proved the valueless of this block, because as you can see, I'm clearly going above and over it, just to actually place some of these right here. But no, the way the border blocks works is instead of placing barriers, which again, barriers are another Minecraft block you can only obtain through the cheat inventory, really, or through the command system. So you can place a barrier block right here, and no one can go through a barrier block when they see one, right? However, let's just kill this guy real quick. Let's just confirm that, like, in survival, you can see how I can't go through these barrier blocks, which are over there, because, oh no, they're in the way. I can't go through them, but I can jump over them, and if I have blocks, I can even use those blocks if I want to. Okay, the wolf skeleton's coming for me. But yeah, I can see very clearly where the barrier blocks are, and the game is not going to allow me to go past them, but it's so easy to circumvent that. I place a bit of obsidian, I jump on the barrier block, and now I'm straight over it. The way the border wall works is it's basically a way to avoid anyone being able to jump above, over, or next to, etc., because even though it's a border, even though it's a wall block, you usually can get close to them, it kind of seals off the entire block that it's on, and also it seals up the entirety of the blocks over and below it if you try to do that. So if we want to say go down here and we want to sneak below the wall, as you can see, we can't. The border wall stops us from going over here. If we want to do the same thing that the wither skeleton was just trying to do, so let's go up here, let's bounce around, and let's try and get over the wall now, because we're clever. We know the way to achieve this is to jump over this wall. Aha, look at this. I'm jumping and I'm going over the wall, except no, it doesn't work. You can try and sidle along the side of the wall as long as you want, but as long as there is a barrier block, border block anywhere on the the scale, the entire y-axis is blocked, ceiling to floor, basically saying you can't go past there. It's a super, super, super handy feature for Minecraft to have, especially if you're making custom maps, because sometimes you want an area to exist, but you don't want players to go there. And yeah, this is a handy way past that, in my opinion. However, just as a fun little detail, you can place barrier blocks in survival. You can't place these in survival at all, because I guess they're so deadly as a survival block. This is very much a creative only feature. And also bear in mind, just for those of you who are sticklers for this sort of thing, because you can place these as hidden as you like down at Bedrock, etc. Also, by the way, you can't break the blocks anywhere near them. They're unbreakable, undoable, anything with. It allows you to protect an entire Y layer of coordinates. But the other thing to bear in mind is this block actually came from the Education Edition. So you could argue it's not actually a brand new feature, although most of you won't have interacted with it till just now. But I do want to mention that very clearly right here. And because it's been on Education Edition for a while, it means that the ways to circumvent it are already here. So either this needs to be patched, or it won't actually work for servers, because all you need to do if you want to break this is you just throw an ender pearl right past it, and boom, we've circumvented the wall. So yeah, what this actually allows you to do is it allows you to have a wall which is unpassable to any player who doesn't know how to get past it, which is anyone who watches this video and anyone beyond that. And yeah, it's a pretty cool little secret feature, in my opinion. So yeah, I just wanted to go through a couple of secret features. The changes to the entire world, you know, like, really the entire world generation system still haven't been addressed, and I wonder, like, are we going to go through the full update without that? What I think is happening with that, in case you're curious, is that I think we are going to reach a stage when the update comes out, or just before, where they announce that, hey, either the next update theme has something to do with why we reconfigured the entire underground, or it's going to tie into some feature that's either yet to be announced, or is coming, you know, somewhat soon. But they are being very quiet about a giant change to Minecraft that we've proven before on this channel that changes diamond generation even, and that's very interesting that they wouldn't say anything just yet, and this is a reminder about that. Also, there's a secret block in here that maybe you don't know about. It's called the border, and who doesn't like borders? I mean, right now, apparently every country loves borders. A lot, it seems. I mean, there's some geopolitical commentary for you in your Minecraft videos. But if you want to move away from that, because tonight I'm going to be speedrunning some Minecraft Bedrock. Right now we have the second fastest time that exists for Minecraft Bedrock, and indeed Minecraft 1.16 as a whole. Most Java Edition speedrunners play 1.8 because they like the old dragon mechanics more. It's a weird thing that Java Edition speedrunners play super old versions, but here on the Bedrock version we're playing the current latest betas even, and tonight I'm going to be trying to get the fastest speedrun time that exists for 1.16. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you all do agree with that one. And as well as that, I figured, like, you know what, should we make, since this has been my big obsession this week, obviously, that's why this video is kind of more rushed than normal. Sorry about that. You know, sorry, not sorry. Got big things to do that involve speedrunning Minecraft. But no, I figured as a result, maybe it'd be interesting to point out some of the differences between Bedrock and Java that people don't know about, besides for speedrunning reasons. Like, hey, did you know beds work entirely different, Bedrock to Java? Hey, did you know seed running works entirely different? And stuff, those sorts of things that people aren't quite as aware of, because there's a lot of huge differences. And also, I just want to mention, killing cats on the Bedrock Edition is sadly a necessary part of speedrunning right now, which is the weirdest world that we've gone into. I find it interesting, and if you want to see why you want to kill cats in Minecraft, you can find out tonight. This is the reason, and you can find out more of that tonight, because we're going to be getting the record. It's just going to happen. We're going to play Minecraft, and we're not going to stop until I've got a sub 15-minute completion of Minecraft. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully all of you are as well. Also, this is maybe an important thing if you want to learn more about the Nether update, because obviously there's a lot of features that you don't know fully about. I've got all of the Nether update videos, and I put them in a big playlist. So if you want to learn about all of the features briefly, I've got one big video that covers them all in brief. If you want to learn about them more in depth, because I cover them in the snapshots they came out in, then you can do that by watching the playlist linked down below. Thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to this Nether update. It's just a matter of weeks away now, and indeed, it's just a matter of hours until I get a world record. Am I obsessed with that? Maybe I am, but you know what you're obsessed with? Watching this video and hitting the bell, I hope. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.